You're tuned into the Mid Morning Talk with me, Fazila Isaac, on Salam Media. We are joined by Prathna Dudhrajh of the Hill Foundation South Africa. Now, Prathna is the PRO for the Hill Foundation. She's also employed at UKZN, and she's a qualified Vedic priest with the Arya Samaj South Africa. She also loves crocheting as well. And helping and serving the community is something that is a key focus in her life. Pratna, thank you so much for joining us today.
Being here, it really is an honor that Heal Foundation is able to showcase our work or highlight our work. So it really is feels good to be here this afternoon.
Great. So HEAL, I know the acronym is Humanitarian, Environmental, and Animal Liberation Projects. That is HEAL. So let's start with you, right? Give us a brief introduction into yourself and your role within the organization.
So the Heal Foundation is actually the humanitarian wing of the Arya Samaj of South Africa, and as you've already mentioned, I am the PRO of the Heal Foundation. So one of my position or the main position is to promote the work that we do. Hence, me being here. But all of us in the Heal Foundation, has a passion for all of these, or one of these acronyms that it stands for. And we felt that there's a need for such an organization to come about, because we are passionate about helping humanity, about animals, the environment. So my role is to ensure that the public is aware of what we do. Yeah, so it's a very fulfilling role, and I enjoy doing it. So yeah, the Heal Foundation.
And what is the focus of the HEAL Foundation?
So, the acronym says humanitarian, environmental, and liberation. And we realize that these three facets, or we call them teams, there's worldwide, globally, that it is a problem, especially now with the pandemic. Humanitarian work has, skyrocketed. We find there are lots of NGOs, NPOs that have come up, and we are not yet 3 years old. I think in early 2023, we are going to be 3 years old. So, we realize that there is a need for animal care because our animals are just neglected. There's lots of organizations besides the SPCA that require assistance and aid, so we try to help them wherever possible. And with the environment, with global warming, we've seen it with our erratic weather conditions, the recent floods that we've been having, the heat waves. So we realize that in our small way, we need to make a big difference because every bit counts. So we decided that these three facets, or we call them teams, need attention. And with our group that we have, each one has developed a niche in each of these teams, and we come up with projects. It could be small, but we plan to take it on to a higher level, in future, and just make a difference in the world as well, because that's what we need. We need many hands to make the work lighter.
100%. It's so important. I think that so many things would have been different if we had more foundations doing such community service, in dealing with
Yes,
the holistic philanthropy, dealing with,
yes,
I
yes,
love the fact that HEAL doesn't just deal with a one facet,
yes,
like you mentioned, you have the animal care, you have many different projects that you are dealing with, which is actually so fascinating. It's so brilliant to have something like that.
yeah.
Tell us about some of these projects and activities that you guys
Yeah.
engage in.
So I'll leave the humanitarian section for the end because that's been our major focus in the last 2 years. With the environmental section, we've had, beach cleanups. We've linked up with a few organizations. In Durban, we had issues with the rivers and things being polluted, especially after the flood. All of that is thrown back onto the seashore. So we have a team that joins once a month on a Saturday that goes out cleaning the rivers and the beaches. Then we've also embarked on eco bricks, educating the community, especially kids, about eco bricks because plastic pollution is such a problem. So this is a way of reducing plastic pollution and then using these eco bricks for simple things, in and around your house or your school. It's used as a brick. So again, we're reducing plastic pollution. We've also encouraged the planting of speckboom because of its various properties that it has. And we are also looking at sustainable farming to take it to schools and small communities so that they are able to use it as, for themselves, their personal use, or maybe take it to uh, a little market and things and sell their produce. So that's on our environmental aspect. With the animal care, we do a lot of donations to SPCA, even some of the zoos and animal farms. Also, we've come across little animal organizations run by one or two people because they have this love for animals and they don't want to see them being put down. They tend to home them. Attend to their injuries and things. So there were a few of these organizations that were in desperate need of food for both puppies, dogs, kittens, uh, blankets, even monetary donations. So when we hear of these little organizations, we step in and try to help wherever possible, because at the end of the day, we also need our animals to be taken care of. We've also donated to a few zoos, Mitchell Park and things, where, offcuts of vegetables and things, cabbage leaves that we didn't want to throw away because these could be, eaten or used as food for the various farm animals as well. And then the humanitarian section, which is our biggest, has been our biggest aspect for now, ever since the pandemic. We've had food hampers, as you can see, people preparing food hampers. We even serve hot meals. We've linked up with the Manav Seva Foundation, where 1,000 hot meals are prepared daily, and we, with various NGOs within the Durban area, we distribute those hot meals to community members, that are in need. We've also embarked in a crochet beanie winter drive, where we've gotten members of the community to, show their skills with knitting and crocheting. And these baby beanies, booties, and clothes were donated to various hospitals within Durban and Pietermaritzburg. We've also decided to make this an annual event because there's always a need for these items. We were not only distributing to hospitals, because we found that a lot of children's homes and orphanages required these, and they just tend to be neglected. Even pregnancy crisis centers required these, where women who fell pregnant and they were abandoned by their families could not get access to baby clothing. So we donated to them as well, and these items were given to these mothers free of charge by their various organizations. We also have a team in Malagasy, which is a very low income area, where they provide hot meals as well, once a week, to the members of that community. I will also be teaching a few of the ladies from their crocheting, because it's a skills development and community empowerment, so they can take this further. And during the pandemic, where I think humanity needed us the most, we had just started in literally February 2020, and then we were hit with the pandemic. We were able to provide vitamin care, kits to community members that could not afford this. We were also able to loan out oxygenators to family members who were in dire need, and again could not have access to these because of the shortage at various hospitals, be it government or private. So, with the assistance of our generous donors, we were able to get all of these items. And then, KZN was hit with our riots last year, which was really something I don't think anyone ever expected to experience in their lifetime. And this affected us in Durban personally, where we, even as the Heal Foundation, could not get access to basic consumables, perishables. And we were really thankful to our branch in Gauteng, who were able to send us truckloads of, canned items, baby food, toiletries, and we packed these hampers and, identified communities that were in dire need, and we were able to give these to them. And also with the flooding, we assisted a lot of families with food and clothing. So that's some of the work that we've been doing in our almost 3 years of existence. And I think we've were able to accomplish a lot in this short time. Again, thanks to the gracious, donors, and the community coming out and helping, whether physically or in cash. That was really, really heartwarming. Humanity really served at that time.
Pratna, you so humbly say, um, the few things that we do. You guys are doing a bit,
Thank
I'm so
you.
excited to hear all these things, and then I just kind of laughed when you said, no, it's just a few things. You guys are doing amazing work,
Thank you so much.
absolutely
Thank you
amazing
so
work.
much. Oh, we feel it's a little because there's so much more we want to do. We and obviously since we are still so new, we this is our plans for the future, and just baby steps. But I think the pandemic was for us the greatest, thrown into the deep end because we had all these
Mm,
grand plans to go forward with the Heal Foundation. But it was only when the pandemic hit us we realized, guys, we have to do this. It's now or never. And whatever
mm.
little we had, we were able to get it out there, and people like you heard about our work, and I'm so grateful to be here too.
And it was really inspiring seeing how much you guys have been doing, and I
Thank
think
you.
it's so important that we bring focus to this work. And I know this is not why you guys do it,
Yeah,
however, we feel like we need to bring focus to these things so people can be inspired by things like this, and also be able to join groups like yourself, because not everybody can do this as an individual,
true.
so if they would want to collaborate with you guys. I think that would be, these are things that we like to bring to the forefront for the exact same reason.
Yeah.
So Pratna, we're just going to take a quick short ad break. And
Okay.
when we come back, we'll continue speaking about the foundation. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Types, moving boundaries, joining hands. Salam Media. لا تقل لوحدي أو كيف السبيل. Humanity sets the agenda. I've been ungrateful for much my life. I wasn't faithful for all this time. I feel ashamed, Lord, for the things I've done since I've been falling all this time. 'Cause I haven't had peace in so long, and I couldn't seem to go on, but now I can feel it through you. And I will never, never forsake anything, and I'll follow this path back to you. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-huda wal-tuqa wal-afafa wal-ghina. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-huda wal-tuqa wal-afafa wal-ghina. I lost my way, Lord, left from your side when chasing this world. Didn't guard my eyes. I've been afraid for the things I've done, so now I'm calling you this time. So Allah, on this journey I come running to you. Oh, please put my heart at ease. Oh Allah, bring me to you. 'Cause I've been falling for all my life. I've been waiting for you now. 'Cause I haven't had peace in so long, and I can't seem to go on, but now I can feel it through you. And I will never, never forsake anything, and I'll follow this path back to you. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-huda wal-tuqa wal-afafa wal-ghina. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-huda wal-tuqa wal-afafa wal-ghina. Oh Lord, my heart couldn't see all the truth of this life. I was caught in this world with a seal on my eyes. Then Allah, you showed me you're the truth of this life. Now I'll follow this path till the end of my time. Oh, 'cause my heart couldn't see all the truth of this life. I was caught in this world with a sin on my eyes. Then Allah.
It's a new beginning. It's a new era. Salam Media, humanitarian journalism.
The time has just hit 12:18, and you're tuned into the Mid Morning Talk with me, Fazila Isaac. Don't forget to engage with us on our social media platforms. I know WhatsApp was down today, but it's back on. Caused a frenzy, but it's back on. So send us your messages on 061 766 0355. Catch us on Twitter at Salam Media, Facebook, www.facebook.com/Salam Media. We are now joined by Prathna Dudhrajh of the Heal Foundation South Africa, who is giving us some insight into the brilliant work that the foundation has been doing. So, Pratna, we did speak about some of the projects that you guys have been engaging in, and we spoke about the feeding projects, and I know it was World Food Day the other day, right? And you guys did embark on a feeding project. Tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so as I had mentioned, we have a team at Malagasy. It's a low income area. So they are very good. They regularly feed the members, once a week there at Malagasy. A lot of them go hungry. So this food basically provides them with the nourishment that they need, because it could be their only plate of food for perhaps that week or things like that. So there is a large group of people that do come to them, and the meals are prepared hot, and served to them. So that is what we do regularly. So on World Food Day, we basically highlighted the work that is done there in that area, because not a lot of people are aware that that is one of the areas that we are targeting, or that we do target. So we do plan to take this, initiative further. So, that is the plan for the future, to cover as many low income communities as possible.
Mm. And the
Yeah.
other projects that you've run, I know you've had Help a Girl Child, you
Yes.
guys had the book drive, you
Yes.
had the animal care as well.
Yeah.
What has been the impact of these different projects on the communities that you guys have serviced?
So the Help the Girl Child project was very special to most of us, because that is where we distributed the reusable pads.
Mm,
And the reusable pad, it was given out to the about girls in various communities we've identified, again in the Isipingo, specifically Malagasy. We've taken it to the Chatsworth area, Peter Maritzburg as well, which is in KZN Midlands. We distributed these pads, and why we chose reusable is because these pads can last up to 5 years,
mm,
and we know the cost of pads are very, very expensive. And these
mm,
are women or little or girls that come from, the low income areas. They cannot afford to buy these pads. So we felt that there is a need to give this out to them. And also we had to highlight the importance of menstrual health, because now we find a lot of younger girls are, menstruating at a very early age, and many of them are probably not aware of what is happening to their bodies. So this
mm,
project was now to highlight the issues linked to menstrual health. And because they cannot afford to buy pads, most of them stay at home, during their menstruation. So they're
mm,
losing out, on valuable schooling time. So we ran this project in conjunction with Women's Day, to highlight the effects, or the issues of facing menstrual health. And the impact was for us, to prevent these girls from losing out on an education, maybe a week in every month, to provide them with these pads so that they don't have to now pay money or use other unhygienic clothing items, perhaps, to as a makeshift pad, so to say. So the pads were sourced from Palesa Pads, which is a South African company, and it was demonstrated how the pads should be washed and taken care of, because it's not something that is similar to how a throwaway pad is used. And for us, this is now, the impact we expect is that these girls now attend school regularly. They are aware of the issues facing menstrual health and how they can take them on. We also had a yoga instructor there who provided them with simple meditative processes to relieve menstrual pain, stress, or emotional trauma that these girls can be going through. So it was a very holistic project that we looked on, physically and mentally. So that is the impact we're looking at, that these girls or young women get a holistic experience. And then the book day, we realize that a lot of children these days, probably even adults, don't read. Everybody just looks at their cell phone. Everything is in small, emojis and things. Nobody knows how to read proper sentences or to write proper sentences. So for Mandela Month, we use it as Mandela Month. We felt that we need to provide schools who lack these resources or cannot afford these resources, because books are not cheap, and maybe these schools are not provided with these books by the government, or things like that. So amongst us as the team, we took it out to the community. If you have books, children's books, adults books lying around that you're not using, please donate them to us or drop them at our offices. And we identified schools that had a need for these books, and this was just to encourage literacy amongst the school kids. We also had, Britannia encyclopedias, or the World Book encyclopedias, which are just now lying in people's homes and they're not using them. We had that donated to us, and this was also given to schools. And again, it was to encourage literacy, to encourage reading amongst our youth, because we feel that nobody takes a book and read these days. It's just TikTok and YouTube and social media, but we don't find people holding a book and reading, and we needed to encourage that. And then again, our animal care, as I mentioned, we did identify an organization that is just run by a lady from her home, and she's always desperately looking for funds. She has about 47 dogs in her care, and I think 22 puppies. And when she finds an animal in distress, or being neglected, she just takes them in her care. And I'm sure now, after Diwali and the fireworks, she probably has that number increased. And she always had an appeal put out that she needs, besides monetary help, she also required food and blankets. So we assisted her as well. So, like I said, in a way, we hope that our small bit makes a difference in everybody's lives. And for us, that reusable pad project, it was more to make a difference, because menstrual health is so neglected. It's such a taboo topic. Even in the homes, people don't want to, educate their children, their daughters, about what their bodies, the changes their bodies are going to go through. So this was our way of doing it in a very carefree, happy environment for them. Yeah.
That's actually brilliant, and I would see the impact that it would have, especially when it comes to the sanitary pads and reading.
Yes.
I mean, like you mentioned, they just want to see pictures. It's like we're going right back to hieroglyphics. It just doesn't make sense. So,
Yeah.
having things like the book drive, it's so important. It's imperative that these things are coming to the forefront and they are being tackled.
Yes.
So it's not easy, I know, running a foundation. You need finances, etc. What would Heal Foundation need in order for it to reach its full potential?
Of course, like any other foundation like us, we a non-profit, non-government organization. So we rely solely on the gracious donations of the community of businesses. And obviously we need money, and besides money we need physical help, because we always packing hampers, whether it's for food or stationary drives, or even care packs. We also did a drive for rape victims, so things like that. We need the community to come forward to help us physically as well, to pack these hampers, to hand out these hampers. We just basically need your time, your time, your effort, your energy, even your input. Like if you feel that, oh, there is a need in any one of these teams, as we call them, somewhere there is a need for help, we are very willing to go out there and help. So we need physical help. We again money. Also during the hamper drives, with the food hampers and things, we get a lot of people sponsoring vegetables and things like that, because that's what we use to cook our food. We're strictly vegetarian. So even if you have food, potatoes, onions, and all sorts of other vegetables that you would like to donate to us, we graciously accept them, because we're always using it. So that's what
Great.
we need.
And how can someone make contact with the foundation in order to
Right.
donate?
Okay, you can drop us an email on healfoundationsa@gmail.com. It's HEALFOUNDATIONSA @gmail.com. Alternatively, you can also send us a WhatsApp on 060 787 2575, or you can also contact us via our Instagram or Facebook page. Just drop us a message and we will definitely respond. So any one of these, you can contact us via email, WhatsApp, or our various social media platforms.
Great. Prata, thank you so much for joining us today. It was an
Thank
absolute
you.
pleasure speaking to you and hearing about the phenomenal work that the foundation is doing. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. We truly, really, really appreciate it. From the rest of our team, we were so humbled that you saw our work and you wanted to showcase us. It really is humbling. Thank you so much for this
You're
opportunity.
more than
Thank you.
welcome. Have a great day, Pratna.
You too. Thank you. Bye bye.
That was Prathna Dudhrajh of the Heal Foundation SA. Don't forget to make contact with them. You can contact them on Heal Foundation SA @gmail.com, or give them a call or a WhatsApp 060 787 2575. That's the Heal Foundation doing phenomenal work. The time is now 12:29. We're going to take a quick short ad break. Once we come back, we will be speaking to Anamika Goosen, who is a dyslexia therapist, who's going to speak to us about this particular learning disability. Stay tuned.